Hi all, welcome back to my channel that is Business Data Analytics. In today's video, we will cover how to print or read a dataset. What is delimiter? What are different input styles we have to read the raw data? I have already spoken what is input statement and what it does in my earlier video. Input statement helps to create variable in SAS dataset. So without any delay, let's get started. In our last video, we saw how we would create a data set in SAS. And to quickly check that table, what we would do, we would write the proc print statement. Now, I have this EMP table which is available in the work library. If I want to quickly check what are the contents inside the EMP table, so what I would do is I would write proc print data EMP table and run. So what proc print does is it would quickly help you to see the contents in a table. Now with this, let's see what is delimiter. Delimiter is something we use it to format a raw data. In raw data, essentially what happens is the data values are separated by any one of the special character. Okay, so this character is called as delimiter. So in general, the default delimiter is space. Now in this EMP table, the raw data is, there are three entries for this table, and for each entry, the values are separated by space. So this space is called as delimiter. So as I mentioned, by default, the delimiter is space. Now for the EMP table, the raw values are separated by comma. So comma would be called as the delimiter. Now let's see what is input statement. Input statement helps to read the raw data and it creates fields in the SAS dataset. We can use the following input styles to read the raw data. We have list input, name input, column input, and so on. Now let's see what is list input method. In the list input method, what happens is the data values must be separated by at least one space and it won't allow the embedded space. This is the example of list input method. That is, the raw values are separated by at least one space. So what is embedded space? Embedded space is something, now let's say we have this employee name as Tom and we want to include the surname of this employee, that is Tom Smith. So this is called as embedded space. And in the case of embedded space, this won't help to create the table. Now in this case, if you see, we have the employee name as Tom, but this surname is missing and the salary is not getting popped up here. So this is not the correct way because in the input statement we have mentioned three fields, that is employee number, employee name and salary. But in the raw data what we are trying to feed is we have given four values, that is 1, we have 2, then 3, then 4. So now SAS is not understanding if we are feeding 4 values to 3 fields which is getting registered in the above. So this is what is called as embedded space. So now let's see how we can handle this embedded space. So in this table employee 4 we have 3 fields, employee number, employee name and salary. And even in the raw data also there are three values. So in the first row, that is Tom Smith, this is separated by a space, this is called as embedded space. Now let's see how we can handle this situation. In the input statement, for the field employee name we have to mention this ampersand, which helps to get rid of this kind of issues. Now let's run this piece of code and see how this is coming out. If you could see here the output, it is clearly separating them out. Employee number, then the name which is Tom Smith, then the salary. So this is all about a single space and embedded space in SAS. Now let's see what is name input method. So name input method is a method which would read the data values that would appear after the variable name, that is followed by an equal sign. So this is how the name input method looks like. In the input statement, these are the field name, house number, visit and time. And while we are reading the raw data, each of the field would be followed by the value. Now let's run this piece of code and see. So this is how it looks like: house number, visit and time. And just to note that in this kind of format, not necessarily that we have to follow this sequence, that is house number followed by visit and then time. We also can shuffle this field name. Now let me show what I mean by this. Now what I'm doing is, once the raw data is available with house number, then we are getting the details of time followed by the visit. That is, that is something like this. In this case also, it would accept the format. Now let me quickly run this and show what I mean by this. If you see here, it is the same output as we had in our previous way. This method is very rarely used and we use it predominantly to collect the data in the survey field. So now quickly check what are the contents available in the survey data. What we would do is we would write the proc print statement. The survey data is now available in the work library. So what we have to write is proc print data equal to survey run. This helps to quickly check the contents of the table. We will talk about the remaining input methods in my upcoming videos. Thanks for watching my video. Till then, bye bye.